Alright guys, how you doing? It's Rabea. Hope you're all well today. So recently I've been messing around with some of the gear that I've got at my home because obviously we're all stuck indoors, and I thought it'd be fun to just mix and match a few different things to come up with something cool and share with you guys. And lo and behold, I've landed on such a thing, and therefore I'm sharing it with you in this video. So I was thinking recently, obviously there's such a emphasis on downsizing your rig if you do a lot of touring, a lot of playing abroad, or you just generally don't have the transport and you need to carry most of your things to your gigs and sessions. And so therefore things like, floor units like Axe 8 and a Kemper floor and Helix and Boss GT8 and all these things come into GT8, that's old school, GT1000, come into it. And it's one of those things that they're really useful for that. They've packed a ton of features in. You've got all those effects, all those different amps and cabs and sims and all that kind of stuff. It's great. However, what if you're not one of those kind of people that like to scroll through menus or like come up with single chains, having to scroll through all this different stuff and then program it and preset it and stuff? What if you don't like doing that? There's plenty of guitarists out there that just want to see an amp, pedals, and know that that's how it works and it's the same every time and all that. But let's say you're one of those people and you still need something portable. Well, this is where I've come up with this, and I think this is cool. I'm one of those guys. Because of my job, I get to demo and have to learn all this gear as well. But for me personally, I like amps, valve amps. Just turn them up, put the gain there, volume, treble, bass there, good to go. So this is kind of inspired by that. What I've designed here that you can see on the close-up camera is essentially a pedal board's worth in terms of size. Not a small pedal board, but not a massive pedal board. You could definitely make this compact. There are 4 components, and this is essentially a portable 180 watt, essentially dual amp rig with some delay in the loop, and we got a little bit of character in the front with a different style pedal that complements both of these amps respectively. We've got the Duchess V4 guitar amp, which is a 180 watt clean amplifier. We're running the Kraken V4 preamp in the loop of that Duchess amplifier, so I can run it in through mode, giving me that whole take over the Duchess amp and give me a Kraken using the 180 watt power section from it, just like I've showed you guys in other videos. So therefore you've got your clean amp, you've got your Kraken dual channel, and then in the loop as well, alongside, so that comes after the Kraken preamp in the loop, is the Echoes from Keeley, which is a fantastic tape reel-to-reel delay with lots of cool flanging and chorus effects and all that stuff, demo on my channel. And then at the very beginning, my guitar goes into the beetronics Fat B overdrive, and then it goes into the it gets inserted between the Kraken and the Duchess. And I'll see if John can give me a little signal chain diagram. It's very simple, but just in case you were confused there. But it's really easy to rig up. I did this in about 15 minutes, plugged it in, had a go, and went, that's really cool, because it's really versatile. So I'm going to show you how it sounds. And I've got my Fender Strat. We'll also use my Relic with my bare knuckles in for some heavier gain stuff because we've got the Kraken there. But I'm just really impressed with how this sounds and how versatile it is. So let's give it a go. Okay, so I figured guitar-wise we'd start with the Strat because a lot of you guys have probably got Strats, but we'll move to humbuckers afterwards. The cab I'm running is the Oxbox. So it's a British voiced 4x12, but if you're using a 4x12 cab, this is basically what you do. You go straight out of the V4 amp into your cab. This is my clean tone. So as you can hear, it's pretty glassy. I'm running the master on full, volume about halfway on the Duchess, so it's giving me, you can really push it and get a little bit of, distortion there, but nothing too crazy. It's basically a high headroom clean. What's cool now is if I put the echoes in, which is currently in the loop, we can get some really nice clean tones, ambient clean tones with delay. So I think that sounds really good, and that's just general kind of turn the delay on, have a little bit of a mess and just get a nice tone. But ultimately the sound of the amp, the clean amp with the delay, so that's a really lovely sound. And now if I show you the Fat B, as I said before, my guitar goes straight into that and then it's inserted between the Kraken preamp and the Duchess, so I can run it straight into the front of both, essentially. So here we go. This is without it. Now if I throw it on, it's just more of a like a vintagey, like not super plinky in the top. Probably turn the reverb down a bit. So it's immediately a vibing kind of just vintage breakup. So for me, that's just a great sound. I don't know how else to describe it than a sort of vintagey overdrive, just a soft but barky sound. I don't know how you describe it, but it's great. And then if I throw the echoes in behind it, so you can get some really nice pads and just some really atmospheric sounds with that. So that's basically my sort of clean amp with a little bit of, you know, something in the front just to give me a different sound just than the clean, because the way I'm trying to run it is my clean channel, then my overdrive channel, and just something else to add in there, which I think was a good idea, just to give me some other tones to play with. So this is where it gets interesting, at least from a standpoint of how versatile we can get, because so far you've heard a clean with a nice bit of sort of, I'd say, you know, vintage kind of overdrive and some tape delay. Whereas now we can go over into the Kraken and then we end up with more modern tones, and we can still use that overdrive to really push the front of the Kraken and get that kind of, what I would like to say is like that kind of Tosca-y, fuzzy sound that I like, with some delay as well. And the reverb still works because it's part of the power circuit, but section of the power section in the Duchess, so you get the reverb as well. So here we go. I'll just show you what it sounds like with the Strat, and then we'll move across to my other guitar. But when I turn it on, we're now taken over the Duchess, and the only thing that works on the Duchess is the master volume, which we want to leave where it is. So check this out. This is the Strat on the Kraken preamp. Sounds awesome. Might want to just point out that I'm using the bright switch in -1 position I wanted a bit of a softer edge on the Strat, but if I put it into taking no brightness out, this is how it sounds. Which is better on the neck pickup for the bluesy. It's lovely, really, really great. And then if we want, we can throw the fat B, and get some really great tones on top. So this is, again, gain 1 on the Kraken, fat B. I think that sounds absolutely awesome. Totally vibing. And I've got, again, a completely different flavour from the same rig. I haven't even touched anything. I've set everything, just leaving it where it is. The only thing I'd probably keep messing around with is the different delays, because obviously you can save presets and stuff, but that is sick. So quickly, let me show you gain 2 on the same sound. So go over to gain 2. So just for the fun of it, let's throw the fat B on with this. It's going to be intense. Well, that's just insane. So much tonal possibilities using just a Strat and this rig like this. So much fun. But now we're going to hear it in a more of a heavy context using the other guitar. So let's check it out. All right, so now I've got the Relic. Firstly, I'll show you some clean tones, chord split them down so you can just hear how it sounds. But this is, I haven't touched any of the settings. I just wanted to show you how it sounds with this guitar. So bridge pickup, chord split. Definitely pushing the front a little bit harder, but with a bit of reverb and delay. That sounds wonderful. So let's try with the fat beat. So this is humbucking mode now. I love the way it compresses. Well, that sounds cool. And then on split. That sounds so good. Right, bit of reverb and delay. So even in the clean rig, where I would have used a Strat or something lower output with coil split, you can get some absolutely sublime tones. Again, right, so now let's try the Kraken. So let's move over, and we're on the first channel. Okay, back off the gain a bit of delay. So there's some really nice crunchy Kraken tones for the ambient soft pick stuff, or just thick chords. Okay, so we may as well just jump straight over to some high gainage. Well, that's just so much fun. There is so much gain on that, but it's just a lot of fun. Total shreds and riffage. I'm going to throw the Fat B on just because why not? perfectly honest, I'm so glad that I stumbled across this rig. Just because I think it's a really interesting video. As I said, if you're one of those guys that doesn't like to deep dive into menus and start changing presets and parameters and all that stuff, if you just want that interface of simple bass, middle, treble, gain, volume, whatever, but compact, portable, and loud enough to gig with and play, then this was a really cool little demonstration idea, suggestion of a rig that you could use. Let's say you didn't use the Kraken preamp. Let's say you used the Sheriff preamp or the Countess preamp or any other different preamp, for example. You could still run that if it has a through mode, or if you use the Victory ones, it does, into something like the Duchess. So you've got all that clean, high headroom, clean with the reverb, tremolo, all that. Then you can go full on modern or classic rock riffing, because as you heard with the Strat and the bare knuckle guitar, it's just like, there are so many different tones from clean all the way through to really heavy, you know. On top of that, with the Fat B for some extra character, a bit of spicing things up a bit, and then using the echoes in the loop, which you could use any reverb delay, you know, if you've got those, you can just add them into the chain. But it's just so cool, so simple. And I think I'm gonna get John to put the total on screen somewhere now. This is how much it costs for these 4 pedals. And it's just food for thought for those of you that, as I said, don't like to deep dive in menus, because it's a cool idea. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'd love to know what you think, if you thought it sounded wicked, or how you think it could be different, or something else you'd like to see. But I'll link these pedals into the comment section, into the description box even. Like, subscribe and share, and I will see you all very soon.